Was it like working with Woody? Because Ian McShane and many others that have come to the Society say they've never experienced anything like it.
Yeah,
and they probably never will experience anything like it.
It's very
in a bizarre way.
Odd. It's definitely odd. But no, it started off odd. I can remember going to meet him in New York, and I got a call from my agent, I think just the night before, or a couple of nights before, saying Woody Allen wants to meet you, and you have to go to Fifth Avenue or Park Avenue, wherever this office that he had was. And I hadn't read the script or anything. I didn't know what I was in there for. But I was kept getting told by everybody, somebody, you know, it could be so peculiar, you never know what to expect. I mean, he could be sitting under the desk, or I don't know, there's these tales of what might happen in this room, and how he might suddenly sort of get me to read Hamlet or something, and anything could happen. And I got so sort of, in fact, quite bored of hearing how weird this experience might be, and instead of sort of thinking about how to arm myself against this peculiar sort of encounter, I focused instead on my outfit and what I was going to wear. And I got obsessed by the idea of wearing this little woolen hat that my mum had given me for Christmas, and my husband says I looked quite sweet in. And so I put this hat on and I trudged down Fifth Avenue or Park Avenue, whichever one it was, and thinking all the time, I think this is the right thing to wear because I think I look quite sweet in it, but oh shit, maybe this is a cliche, maybe I'm trying to look like Diane Keaton or Annie Hall or something, and he's going to see right through me. And I got myself completely sort of obsessed about whether or not to wear this hat. And then I got into the office in Park Avenue or Fifth Avenue or whatever it was, and I was told to wait, and then I asked to go to the loo, and I went, and there was this huge mirror in the loo, and I looked at myself in this mirror, and I looked at myself in this hat, and I had this sort of terrible moment of angst about what to do, and I thought, well, I do look quite nice in it, but at the same time, maybe it is a cliche, I don't know. And then I came up with the most brilliant notion, which was that I was going to take my hat off when I sat down, so that he got both looks. And I thought, that's it, I've cracked it. I'm going to take the hat off when I sit down. I walked into the room, I was called in, I walked into the room, there he was, standing in this rather big room, and I stood there, and he said hello, and I said hello, and he said, I've seen some of your work, and I just really wanted to know what it was like to see you in the flesh. And now I've done that, so thank you very much. Goodbye. And I barely got a chance to say goodbye, let alone to sit down or take my hat off. So I walked out of the room with this hat still on my head and walked out onto Fifth Avenue and Park Avenue and just felt absolutely devastated and destroyed, and knew I hadn't got the job, and knew it was all this stupid hat and I should never have worn it. And he'd seen right through me and hated me. And then I got back up to my hotel, because at that time I didn't live in New York. And I got a hand-delivered letter about half an hour later saying, I'd love you to be in my film. And I was allowed to read the script, which I hear is quite uncommon. And I had an hour to read it and then decide. But there's a little sort of footnote to that story, which is, after the film came out and we were all doing this massive press tour and everything, and I hadn't been brave enough to tell that story, but me and Woody and Scarlett and Jonathan were all sitting in a big press conference in Cannes, and someone asked me what it was like meeting him, and I don't know why, I just thought, fuck it, I'm going to just tell the story, why not? I don't know, I just thought, I'm just going to say it, because I didn't have anything else to say, really. And so I told this story of the hat, thinking, oh my God, what's he going to think? What's he going to think? Is he going to hate me? And everybody laughed. And he really sweetly, at the end of it, said, it's so funny, I can remember that meeting. And all that was going, if you had little bubbles going, connected to my head, it would be, I've got to get her out of here quickly before she realizes what an idiot I am. And she doesn't want to do my movie. If I talk to her too long, she's going to hate me and think I'm boring and awful. And,
it's very funny.
So it was two very deeply neurotic people meeting each other.